So my name's Danielle Bridge. I'm the Chief Executive at Black Minds Matter UK. Our organisation is designed to allow access for Black people to therapy, allow them to understand the benefits of therapy, and to also advocate for transformational systems change.
My name's Ollie Olanipekun. I'm the CEO of Flock Together, the birdwatching collective for people of colour.
Okay, this is interesting. A stereotype about the Black community that you think is particularly harmful.
For us, it was like Black people are not into nature, you know, that, or bird watching specifically. And that was super harmful because over the years, watching so many thousands of people join the walks and have been held back by that stereotype because they've seen green spaces and thought, okay, that's not for me, that's a white thing. So that's massively harmful.
Yeah, very much so. Okay. You'll go.
Oh, yes. What moves you? Simple.
There's so many things that move me. I think the work that we do, the testimonials like you, the testimonials where people have accessed therapy and it's changed their lives. People that have accessed therapy and it's made their relationships better. People who have accessed therapy who are able to break generational curses almost, do you know what I mean? Like from accessing it and allowing the benefits of therapy to make a massive difference in their life. I think that's super important for me.
Incredible.
All right, my turn, all right? Oh, okay. Your go-to place to rest and recharge in the UK?
Wow, so this is a great question because I think being a nature guy, people expect you to say the Lake District or Dartmoor, these beautiful, you know, national parks. But for me, it's my local green space. It's 2 streets over from me. It's called Springfield Park. For me, it's the best park in London. You've got an incredible view across the marshes, which is the biggest, don't quote me, urban reservoir in Europe.
Wow.
So you've got this incredible view across this whole space. So that for me is where I like to go. If, you know, I've had a long day of work, I sit in the park and I just listen to the birds around me and I can just fully switch off. So yeah, that's my favourite space.
Although the Lake District is banging.
The Lake District is incredible. They're all incredible, but I'm really an advocate for seeing your local green spaces as beneficial as these are the big national parks.
Yeah, love that. Okay.
Okay, so how do you keep yourself moving?
Metaphorically, moving, I guess, physically, yes, it's easy to do if you've got the motivation to do it. Keeping yourself moving emotionally, mentally sometimes is really hard. To move past things, to move towards things is really difficult and takes up quite a lot of energy to motivate yourself. And that's tough sometimes. But I think, especially the work that we do, the overall benefit to the community is key for me. And understanding how important the work that we do is my motivation in and of itself. So, you know, I think, not physically, but that's definitely something that I recognise, I guess.
Got you.
Yeah, emotionally, mentally. Okay. Okay, your favourite way to move your body and why?
My favourite way to move my body, so probably 10 years ago I would have said football. Probably another 15 years ago I would have said running. Definitely now it's walking.
Okay.
Yeah, I think being in green spaces and just walking is just, there's nothing beats it.
Yeah.
I think the difference between walking and, let's say, running is when you're walking, you take so much more in, you know, and I've been really conscious now of each time I walk, been really trying to take notice of everything that's around me, from the sounds to the, you know, the movements in the trees, the colours of the flowers. So that for me, I can do at my best when I'm walking, and the benefits I receive from being, you know, I get so much perspective by being able to see myself within this massive space, you know, when I'm fortunate to go into wide open spaces anyway. So yeah, that for me is definitely how I like to move.
I like the fact that you talked about walking rather than running, because I don't like running.
It's not for everyone. Even though I still love running, I'm just saying if I had a choice, and it would be walking every time.
Yeah, it's lovely.
You know, and to do that in a community as well, I think it's really powerful to be able to all take your time together, all experience that that environment at that pace. I think it's really important, and it's definitely been something that's been fundamental to Flock for the last 4 years. So the next question is, the hardest part of the work you do?
Oh my gosh. The hardest part of the work that we do at BMMUK is the pressure. I think there's a lot of pressure from us as an organisation to make sure we continue to be of service to the Black community on one hand, but then on the other hand, the pressure from outside agencies to continue to be this place that is integral to the Black community is also quite well felt. So it's really difficult. I think for me, that's probably the hardest thing, is understanding that we have an inordinate amount of pressure on our shoulders. And it's interesting, when I first kind of came to BMMUK, it was like, I felt like that we were the Black social services. Do you know what I mean? Like everything that was going on in terms of social justice and racism and the activism required to be able to do this work was felt in everything that we did. So we have to keep on stepping up. And that's a lot of pressure. We're a very small team, and so being lots of things for an awful lot of people, I feel that we feel the pressure quite a lot.
I fully hear that, and it's similar for us, but that pressure to keep the standards high, you know, each walk, making sure that everyone has a great experience, you know, 4 years on, every single month. It's just a lot. So, and it feels like a duty of ours. You know, we have to deliver that, you know, and we don't want the standards to drop. But it, you know, month in, month out, it's not easy. And I think one thing we've done, which has probably been to our disservice, is that we make it look easy.
I
don't know if you find that.
Do you know what? Yeah, we probably do, actually, to everyone else.
Fully, people turn up to the walks and think it just falls out of the sky, but behind the scenes, there's so much that goes into it. So much, you know, safeguarding, which I'm sure, you know, is paramount for both of our organisations. You know, people don't realise all of that work, you know, takes a lot of energy and input. So yeah, I think I hear you on the pressure.
Thank
100.
you. Yeah, we do share that, for sure. Okay, so what moves you then?
You know what? This is an interesting question, because what moves me is, and it's simple, it's people and nature. They're two separate things, but together, and that's what we've got in Flock, is just so on the nose for me in regards to the things that I'm interested in. I really love people's behaviour, how to empower our people especially. And then on the same, you know, tone is nature. I think for me, that all the answers can be found in both of those places, in people and in nature. Everything you need can be found in those places. So that's what I'm passionate about, is, and you know, and as I said, bringing those two together has been such a blessing for me, and yeah, long may it continue.
Absolutely. It sounds like we've both got community, we've both got something that works towards building of that community, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, probably our backgrounds, you know, is always, I think, community for us is not a buzzword. You know, over the last few years, it's became such a buzzword, but in reality, for a lot of, especially the Black communities, community was about survival. You know, it wasn't you know, community I can do without. No, our parents' generations was like, without community, they wouldn't have survived in this country. So I think the way community is being banded around now is not great to see. And anything we do, we're very much about really reminding people how important true community is.
Super important stuff. Okay.
Okay, so how do you see Black Minds Matter UK creating a long-term impact on mental health within the community?
Wow, that's a loaded question. I think it's about understanding where we are, where we came from, and the responsibilities on us to continue to be sustainable and to be there in another 4 years, right? Like after the murder of George Floyd, I've seen an awful lot of conversations around EDI and all of these other things kind of go down the pan, right? Lots of people who were employed to do these jobs suddenly find themselves redundant of that job, right? Because it's kind of disappeared. People have said what they've got to say, they've been shouting a lot, and then they disappeared. Oh, redundancy, that job's no longer there. But for us, we've stayed, and that we will continue to stay, because now we know that there is an alternative to what's been provided beforehand, and people want it, and they need it, and they understand the benefit of it. And I think together with us at BMMUK, but also with the collective community understanding the power behind that movement, they'll keep us here. We've got a lot of work to do, and they will definitely keep us here.
No, amazing.
So it's about understanding and pushing towards the accessibility of therapy. It's pushing to make Black community aware of all the challenges and barriers, and it's also advocating and going into those spaces and saying, look, we've got our own space, right? We don't need necessarily a seat at your table, but we need you to understand what's going on at our table, so that when you look at systems change and development, then you take into consideration our community, because ultimately a community that is better for Black people is a better community, full stop, right?
Absolutely.
And services that take into consideration our needs are going to be overall beneficial for everybody that accesses them.
It's incredible work you're doing.
Thank you. How do you see your movement changing in the future?
This is a really actually important question, and it's came at a really interesting time for us, because we are now looking at what's next and how we can expand on what we've been doing and take it even further. And for me, I think it's very much about showcasing the creativity that's within the Black community. If you think about any of the industry, from fashion to sport to music to film, when Black people are allowed to flourish, the whole industry benefits and the world benefits. So if you think about that, and then you look at the category of nature, let's say, we've got so much to offer, and I'm so excited about the contribution we're going to make. We see the narrative that we've been, following for the last 3 decades about the climate crisis, and a lot of that affects our people more than anyone. So the fact that we're not involved in that conversation is a crime. So what I'm hoping with Flock Together is really being able to be a Trojan horse in putting our voices at the table, showcasing our creativity, finding the solutions that's going to benefit everyone, and fundamentally making it sexy. That's what we do in every space. So it has to be sexy, it has to be relevant, it has to engage the next generation, and that's what I'm very, very excited about from Flock Together as we move forward.
Love to see it.
So, favourite way to move your body and why?
Favourite way to move my body outside of raving?
Yeah.
Outside of raving, it'd probably be the gym. Lifting extremely heavy weights like deadlifts and squats and big ones at the gym. That's my favourite thing to do outside, like I said, of raving. Because you can never rave too much.
No, there's a balance.
Love that.
What do thriving lives and minds look like to you?
Ooh. Thriving lives and minds. So we wish at BMMUK to not have Black people survive, but to thrive. Not just to survive, but to thrive. And I think for me, that means that we appreciate and understand that Black people, just like every other person in the UK, has difficulties and challenges that they have to overcome. And overcoming something is very different to understanding and taking that information and pushing ahead anyway. And I think for me, that's what thriving is all about. It's about understanding all of those challenges and all those difficulties and doing good with it anyway, in spite of. So that's what I want to see. I want to see that Black people are thriving with their mental health and recovering and becoming well and understanding themselves and understanding the perhaps diagnoses that they have and the challenges and why they've had all those difficulties throughout their life, and actually doing something with it, processing it, and then understanding there is next a pathway to living their best life.
Incredible, best life.
Yeah, hopefully, that's what we want. Okay, a story that has inspired you within your community.
Oh my God, wow, a story. There's been endless stories. Now I'm on the spot. A story that has inspired me.
Yeah, within your community.
We have so many. We've just had our first baby. which is crazy.
Tell me more. What does?
Well, they met at Flock, and
okay, that's enough.
Yeah, that's enough. Other things that have stories, I think, just the lengths some people have travelled to come and attend a Flock walk. The connections is the most inspiring. To listen to people come a Flock walk, never met each other, maybe share a project and then collaborate on that project, and we see it in the real world getting accolades. That's it for me. I can't pick out one because there's been many, but yeah, that for me is just like, wow, we're really creating something here, a space where people can collaborate and thrive, like you're saying. So yeah, that would probably be it. Yeah.
Awesome, sounds cool.
What have you learned from your children about the mental health demand in the community?
Wow. Okay, so I have a 16-year-old and a 14-year-old, and I have learned from them that the mental health conversation and the literacy around emotions and, life are one of the same. They don't kind of separate them, which I think is quite important actually for a lot of us to try and understand. And they're way more open than any other generation that I've come across in my life. They're quite happy to talk about their relationships and their difficulties and their challenges. And it's also quite important for me to give them an opportunity to understand that mental health is something that we all live with and have always lived with. Because I think if you listen to some of the narrative going on at the moment, you'd think that mental health, especially for Black people, only came about in 2020. Before that, we didn't have mental health, right? It was just this thing that happened after the killing of George Floyd. And it wasn't. We've always had challenges in our mental health. And because we're human beings and we will always continue to do so. So for me to help my children build resilience and understanding that it's something that they live with and have always and will always live with, and that the ups and downs of life are an integral part of being a human being. And so they remind me of that by sharing and being open with their own emotional needs and helping me to create a really open dialogue in our home that creates an element of safety for them and for me. They've seen me cry before, they've seen me be sad and anxious around the pandemic. They've seen mum have troubles, and I think it's important that they've seen it happen and seen my reaction to it and have been able to help with that as well. So yeah, there's not kind of hiding in our home. I think it's important for them to see it.
I think there's so much to be said about the next gen of young people and their approach to speaking about their feelings, sharing their feelings. And, we see it at Flock, when we have our sharing circle, people stand up and they share. It's so intimate, so intimate. And this is something that, 10, 20 years ago wouldn't have happened.
Wouldn't have seen it.
So yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, no, they're great at it. Good kids. Right, where can we catch you? Where can we catch you on a Saturday night?
Where can you catch you on a Saturday night? Again, it might have been in the rave a while ago, but those days are behind me.
Daytime raving all day long.
Yeah, was that you?
Yes, man.
Okay,
no nighttime raving for me no more.
Fair. You probably catch me in a simple wine bar with some nice food.
Nice.
Yeah, very much just closing out the week. Nothing crazy, to be honest. Or traveling back from a green space. I try and get out a lot in every weekend. We try to explore the UK. So chances are I'll probably be on the motorway driving back from a beautiful green national park or something.
Nice. Yeah. After your Saturday. Yeah. Awesome.
Cool. One thing that you want people to know about the work you do at Black Minds Matter UK?
There's a lot of things I want everybody to know about the work we do at Black Minds Matter UK. One thing I do want people to know is that we can't do this on our own.
Yeah.
And there is this narrative around charity specifically for Black people, is that because we come from an underserved community that we need handouts, and there is no affluency and there is no kind of accessibility to therapy. Therapy can be quite expensive, but there are a demographic within our community that can categorically afford it. And I'm directly speaking to those people that for the first time in forever, we've got something that is so important and so powerful within our community that they have to help us to keep this sustainable.
Yeah.
And I think for me to have to go out to grants and, asking for money from sometimes the very systems that are dangerous and have set precedents around this stuff in our community makes me feel quite sad. So it is a direct request to the Black community to help us to sustain something that they can take benefit from. And not just them, but for their children, their parents, our grandparents, everybody can access the benefits of what therapy can provide. So yeah, that's what I want people to know. I want people to know that we need support and we need help, not just financially, but to get the word out there, to get the mission out there, but more so financially.
Yeah,
So
always
just,
comes back to that, doesn't it?
Yeah, but we do need to have this sustainable income from our community. It's important. We've designed it with them in mind, and so it's with and for them, for us. So help us to sustain it.
Brilliant.
I think that's the last one. Oh, why do Black minds matter to you?
I wouldn't be here if it didn't. It's everything. Black minds are everything to me. It's what brought me into this world. It's what navigates me through this world. So yeah, Black minds mean everything to me. And yeah, being able to support them in a space which can feel foreign a lot of the time, to empower them, because I know how creative and how beneficial Black minds can be to everyone. Facts. Yeah.
See, that's moved me.
Really?
Yeah.
There we go. Oh, I'm the last one.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's super important stuff.
Yeah, cool. There we are.
Okay.